Hey yo, what's up? My name is Tom Mizzle. You're watching my channel Mizzle 14, and I'm here doing a review of Family or Fiance, the episode of Tselane and Justin. I would say this wasn't too much like drama filled and too much crazy, chaotic fighting and arguing. It was more of misunderstanding and more of trying to understand the other person, especially with someone who got mental health. And how to deal with someone in a relationship with somebody who has a disorder, is someone who went through a whole traumatic event, and how they cope with that, and how be in a relationship with somebody who has this coping mechanism and how to deal with that. So I was home know the most about it. So we get an episode with Tselane and Justin. They've been together for 3 years and decided to get engaged to her, and they want to get married. They met online in Tinder. They mismatched, met each other a couple of times for 20 times before he decided to move to California with her, and they living together. She has a 14-year-old son and now, and they've been together as a family. Really cool. Now, you know how the whole formula is. They spent 3 days in the house and everything, so they met with Tracy first, and basically says basic concern. She said she had a son that he's good. He liked Justin and everything, but he has some reservations about it. And like he said, sometimes he get like sensitive and he gets an attitude and stuff like that. And so his son is like worried about, okay, I mean, what's going on? So it was like we found out that Justin hadn't told his family about the engagement and stuff like that. And I guess I think he said he told Tselane that he told his mom when that's what he said, but in reality she didn't knew about it and everything. And then when Tselane told her family that she got engaged, they wasn't too excited. So they said, oh, okay, and everything. I guess maybe they were so secretive. They wasn't telling anybody about their relationship or something like that. They kept it quiet. So maybe that's what gave them, they both families like a pause about the relationship. It's like, y'all been so secretive. Y'all haven't been telling, y'all haven't been around. Y'all wasn't showing us anything for us to really know about Justin or know about Tselane. And y'all be so secretive, all of a sudden y'all inviting us to the show to be in the thing to give us a blessing for the reunion. No, for a wedding when we don't hardly really know about it. Y'all really got engaged in the first place or what's going on because y'all haven't been telling us a thing and y'all been keeping in touch with us. So they keeping their life private. All right, so in Tselani's side, she brought her mother Susan, her sister Nefertiti, and her cousin Philip. And in Justice side, he brought his mother Cynthia and his two sisters Gabby and Pam. So we had the first sit down and express everybody concerns. So Pam said they barely talked to Justin. It's like since he went to California, communication between him and his family hasn't been the same as it was before he moved to California. They used to talk a lot and everything, but now when he California, they haven't been having communication. So basically she don't really know about the relationship and how serious it was and how sweet Tselane is and everything, and see how in marriage, just like that. So she was concerned about that, not knowing his fiance. Cynthia, his mom, that's Justin's mom, said that no one came to her and told her anything. So that's like Tselane was kind of bothered about that. And she was like, she thought that the mother knew, but it was like, it kind of hurt her. It was like he kept it a secret and he didn't tell his mom about the engagement. Now, what's the secret? Why he just keep that secret? He explained to us that the reason why he did that, he felt he don't want to be judged, and he had the anxiety and fear that he was being judged by his family. That if he tell him that he getting married, so like that, and he said he felt like throughout his life, not just his thing, but throughout his life, he felt kind of judged and mistreated by his, I don't know about mistreated, but kind of been judged by his family about his decisions, what he do, where he go to military, where he go to school and stuff like that. He feel kind of judged, so he don't want to be that. Now I understand, Justin, how you feel, but sometimes people always go judge. So sometimes you got to realize how can you cope with that? Because no matter what you do, you could do great things, people judge you. You could do bad things, people will judge you. So I think that fear of being judged is something you have to work on and realize that this is life. You got to deal with that. And I understand that he felt that if he would tell them, they would not approve. They he wanted their blessings, stuff like that. So I guess he put off telling them. Susan wanted to talk about the PTSD and the angry outbursts that he be having the PTSD. Now, the mom was kind of upset because Justin was saying, no, that's not a topic we need to discuss right now. That's not something we need to go there and everything. And the mom would say, no, no, not do that. She said, no, I want to talk about that. We need to get this out in the open and everything. But I guess it wasn't a bad. I guess I understand that she wanted to get out the other, but I understand that it wasn't probably the environment and the environment for them to talk openly about it yet. It's just that people don't really have enough knowledge of PTSD. So that's a trigger, and that word itself is a trigger for them. Even the mom, because she was because I was like, why she got flipped out? Because I was like, why is she flipping out and everything? I understand why he will not want to talk about it, because sometimes with people with PTSD, they really don't really like relive this situation or really like to talk about it as much. They try to avoid it. That's one of the symptoms that they do. They avoid. They kind of withdrawn. They probably get emotionless. They don't express emotions like that. So it's really hard for them to communicate effectively that these things that they have is something that they want to forget. So bringing it up now, then make them go back to what they was living, and they try not to go back. So that's why it's hard. So the mom stuff like, she's like, no, I can't deal with it. I have a PTSD and it's about to kick in, and I can't deal with this, and so like that. And then later he explained to us that why PTSD is a issue for him. It was like a touchy subject because he was in the military. He said he used to be a U.S. Native corpsman, and he does medical things to his own people, to enemies, as that medical care. And I guess he's been through see a lot of things, and that could be troubling. When you do medical things, you see people limbs getting torn up, people dying, blood, and broken bodies and broken bones and different things you could imagine, you could see. And then he explained that his mom was a veteran herself, so she had to really deal with a lot of things. I mean, she did explain that she wasn't going to therapist, but she stopped going now. She realized that was a bad thing to do. She needs to keep going to get that thing handled, because for her outbursts like that, to storm out like that, you could tell that is really something that she really hasn't really able to freaking able to cope and able to help get past it. So she's still healing from that as well as him. So he started crying. He said, I didn't, he said, well, we talk about PTSD because Tselane mother was like, okay, everybody was like, wow, what's going on? And they were trying to make us understand that it's a really touchy thing. It's like, you got to be really informed to really discuss it. It's not like they don't want to discuss it. They just need to have a better environment and someone who could really explain to us in an open environment for that to be happening. So that needs to be done. And that's what they can understand. So, but Susan said, "Oh, she okay? Is everything's all right? Okay." So he said, "It's not that we talk about. It's that we go to a different space. If we talk about PCS, it will take us back to where we don't want to go, and that's not something we focus on right now. We focus on this blessing in the relationship. And you take me back to that part, it get me the whole riled up." So he started crying, and he said, "I'm sorry, I didn't want to make this like that. I'm trying not to be emotional about it, like make y'all feel bad, but it's really touchy." So he had to step away for a little bit, and Tselane was like that, and the family was like, "Oh my gosh!" It's like they're trying to understand, but they want to feel like they being pins and needles talk about the issue because this is involving the person you dating with. It's like she had to deal with this thing you going through, so we want to know more. But we don't want to feel like we need to walk on eggshells talking about it because every time you talk about it or bring the subject up, y'all have an attitude or y'all outbursts, you get angry, you dismissive and stuff. It's not like we don't want to help y'all get through it. We just want to know. So it's not like they're being ill-mannered with it. They just want to better understand. So Tracy gave them two assignments. Tselane, she was going to do a petty many with the ladies, because it was mostly all females, except for one, Philip. He was the guy. and they would do 20 questions there. And Justin will play hoops, ball with Philip, and then he would do 20 questions with that. Right. Um, so then we get to the dinner. They had the little separate 20 questions. I don't think I wrote too much notes about that. It was mostly basically the same thing and how she trying to understand him and trying to support him, all that stuff. He going to school and thing, and I just want to know. I just love him, but I just want to know the communication is like issues and trying to communicate. I think that's the major thing in a relationship is the communication because sometimes he gets to be drawn and he don't. He kind of be selfish. He don't talk about things, or he don't communicate things effectively with her, or something like that, to be able to understand each other. And I guess that's the bigger obstacle because sometimes they get withdrawn. They don't be emotions. They don't show emotions. They don't stuff like that. So they tend to not share a lot of things or not talk out things with the person. So it comes to it be frustrating for the other person who's dealing with this because if you can't communicate with me, how can we move forward? How can I help you if we don't talk? So So the question in the dinner asking if you think your relationship is equal. He said he can't answer that because he don't know right now how's it going. But he said issue between them. He said it's a communication issue between them, and so how did we go about getting that communication? So I think Susan asked a question about how do you do that when you was in the military. So I thought they said we couldn't show emotion. She said I want to talk about emotion. Talk about how do you communicate with the people you working with if you was in the military. He said sometimes he do things alone and it's not by choice or by just doing what he needs to do. But he tends to be alone, and it was like that. Maybe I don't know. He was too much in the war in the aspect, but he was mostly by medical. But he tends to do things alone and everything. So it kind of like he did admit that he could be selfish in a way that it was all on him because he's been doing this for a long time. And I don't think they explain how long he was in the military, but since he's been doing this so long, he's been on his own. So he had to rely on anybody else. So Tselane said it's a good thing he was saying that because in doing a lot of things, I haven't been really I wasn't selfish at all. I've been putting my life on hold for you. And Justice said, no, no, that's not happening. He said, anything you could do right now, you could have done it yourself. I'm not stopping you on anything, all that stuff. And he trying to get his point across, and Philip was standing up. He was like, nah, no, it's like that. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think. I'll be something tell me that he is telling the truth that he's not stopping her, but sometimes I feel like because he had this major mental health issues like that, she trying to cater to him and trying to understand him and trying to support him, not worry about him getting an outburst and understand what he's going through. Maybe she like more sensitive and more like mindful of what she do and more focused on him than more focused on herself. But I don't think he really is stopping her for doing what she wants to do. But it came to the point it was getting too much until the she was like going so it's starting to get a little bit heated a little bit, but not too much. Then Gabby said, shut up, everybody shut up, all that stuff like that. And she was trying to get a point across, and then I think Nefertiti was trying to say something or I think everything and she couldn't say anything and they was going back and forth and she said, I told everybody shut up, all that stuff. And then she stormed out. I was like, damn, Gabby, you could have just stayed there, but it's starting to go off. And yeah, so I was like, okay. So after that dinner, Justin said he just realized he don't want to go through this anymore. He said, I don't think we should do it the second day because it's not getting nowhere. I'm ready to go. And then, but Tselane wants to stay there and to really work it out because she said she needs to continue the process. Now she's questioning things because after that she had to sit down with her mom, Susan, and they had to say she maybe question the things now and put more things in more perspective of how the things going and realize that maybe they're not ready for marriage yet, but she still loves him and she don't want to leave him go because he is a good man. And I don't think Justin is a bad guy. I can see it. I don't think he's a prude. I think he just have communication issues and his PTSD is like getting in the way, and he needs to get help with that so he could be able to have a better relationship with Tselane. That means more communication, not being on his, not being avoiding, not withdrawing, withdrawal, and show more emotions and communicate, be effective and affectionate with Tselane. So they did a second checking, and it become more as Tracy asked Solana that she needs to sit down on son now and get him a better understanding of what his concerns are and make him have a voice, because he's 14 years old and teenagers sometimes may not express things the way how you want them to express it, but they will tell you the truth. So sit down and talk to him, and he will tell you how he feels. And I guess it was talk about the PTSD, how it was such a subject. Then Tracy said, yes, I understand that it needs to be someone that needs to be addressed, how someone, a professional, could sit down and talk to Dr. Alley, could talk to the families and have them under better understanding what PTSD, how to handle that, what to do. It's not going to be a therapy session because it's not going to turn into therapy, but it's more of a formative session. So she sat down with her and she told him about the PTSD and how sometimes they isolate themselves, they withdraw from the thing because they had go through this whole traumatic experiences that it was so traumatizing that they trying to tend to forget, and to relive that it brings the anxiety, it brings fear, it brings anxious in them. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I don't want to talk about this, I don't know what to deal with that. So they trying to avoid the thing. So they tend to be not emotional with the things going on, because that emotion experiences, it comes with a lot of traumatizing emotions. So they turn that off and be emotion. But PTSD, you can't turn that off as well. It always live with you. It's like it's always on switch. And some things they tend to remove themselves with situations that may trigger them to that point. So maybe he need to learn. They probably ask both couple need to learn the triggers that will trigger him to get to that episode, so they won't affect their relationship too much, and it won't be a hindrance. So, but they should say you need to have somebody in your side, like a personal person who can help you, like a mental health specialist or therapist. Now the mother realized that she should have continued her therapy because it affects her as much as more that she needs to, and she haven't been dealing with that. And Justin realized he might have to do that as well, continue therapy. Now, with Tselane had to sit down with her son and her mother. He explained that he said he liked Justin. He's a good guy. I think he's good for you and everything. But I just feel like he just needs to. He get angry at times, and he snaps, and he just feel bothered because he's like, "Come on, you're my mom, and why he doing this to you? And need to work it out." And it put more perspective. And she asked him, if I asked you we get married today, will you think we get married?" He said no, and but it's like he said no, so she kind of feels a little about that. And so they did the final check with Tracy, and she said she was just been hurt by what he said, because he said he's 14, so he's about to go to high school, and he shouldn't have to be think about thing, because he said the reason why he wasn't saying anything because he felt scared that he said if he will say anything to Tselane, that he will hurt Justin and break up their relationship and ruin their relationship. For the son to think he should be scared and not to say anything, hurt in the relationship, is like, wow. That's so it put Tselane in more perspective of that. And they did a final check-in and a blessing ceremony. Basically, all of them said no, but just the mom, she said she needs to see action. I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say yes. I need to see action. So I'm gonna be coming around. I'm gonna be watching y'all doing this, and other family was like, okay, and watching y'all, and they just show me that y'all gonna work. So now they made the decision to say, you know what, we gotta put the whole stop on the marriage and the wedding, and she gonna take the ring off. She gonna put the necklace and put the ring on the necklace and put it on her heart. So when they come to the point where they be ready, they could be ready for marriage again. But we gonna get the help that we need. We gonna work this together. We're not breaking up, but we need to work. We need to work some issues out. And if y'all do work it out, then the family will be on board. Because the family, I don't think the family dislike Tselane and Justin. They just want them to understand things and to have better communication and work some of those smaller issues they have together and how to deal with someone. Because you can have the healthy relationship with someone who got PTSD once you learn the tricks and tools to how to deal with it. And if he helping himself get the process of helping. Because they say he's not a bad guy. So the update is that he went to see a therapist. He continues seeing therapists. And they had no plans for marriage, but they still living together. So they still together with themselves, and he's working on them. And hopefully in the future they will get married because it seems like they're good for each other. It is that they need to work on some minor issues. But that was my review of Family and Fiance. Like I said, this wasn't too bad. They didn't get the marriage yet, but it's on the road to it if they work on some of the stuff, the minor issues like the PTSD, how to handle it, how to cope with it, how to communicate with each other. And once that gets together, then things were good. They would be walking down the aisle. But please tell me how you feel. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit that red subscribe button. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.